Oh, hello. We're live. Again, I never know when we're doing the flashy intro, but I guess we're rolling. Drew Franklin here, Tyler Thompson, Nick Roush on another Monday happy hour presented by our friends Country Boy Brewing. Tyler, are you partaking today?
I am partaking. I never know which way to turn the can. The camera always gets me going backwards. But I've got a Cliff Jumper, India Pale Ale. My God. I think I'd never had one of those before.
What
It's
number
been
are
a
you on there,
Monday.
Tyler? Do we need to cut you off?
Need to cut me off. I haven't even started.
Now, I'm glad you're partaking. I wish I could have one. Been a long day already for me. Nick Roush, been a long day for you. I'm sure you would like a country boy. I have a nice 6 hour old sweaty Diet Coke I might sip on throughout the show. But other than that, I'm
Oh,
quite jealous
yeah.
of Tyler drinking a country boy. Nick, you're a big country boy fan, aren't you?
Yeah, I've gone on to the coffee. We got the 4 o'clock coffee on a Monday. Just kind of keep chugging along through the day. It's football season here. It's a busy one, but it was basically the last weekend of the summer at the Roush house. Wife starts reporting back to school this week. Football's back. So there was a lot of country boys consumed this weekend. If you're outside, it's hot. You have to be in a body of water with a drink in your hand. Like just any other way, and it's too toasty. I don't know how you survived out there at that soccer game, Drew. Is that
Uh, uh, it might have been a different brand, but I had enough of cold pops there at the game to stay. Unfortunately, they don't have country boy out there. I wish they
they need
did.
to?
I agree. But no, we love Country Boy. Big, long-time sponsor. Later in the show, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the new place they just put up just down the street from me. One of these shows, you are going to log in, and I'm going to be sitting in front of a pickleball court at Country Boy. Just couldn't pull it off
What?
today, but we'll talk about that a little later in the show. But let's lead off. We're going to have Adam Luckett join us when he can. Did you all get back from Lexington? Are you back in Louisville now, it looks like, Nick?
Yes. I just made it back. We pulled in. What I realized is that the pickup spot where the Louisville crew meets up, it's just this. We were 3 of a dozen cars. Apparently, everybody else has gotten in on the pickup spot, but he takes a little bit longer to get back. So we did make our way back from Lexington. Where it was a busy day, and essentially Stoops. I kind of like how it worked out. So Deion Sanders kind of stole the show with his medical diagnosis today. He is cancer free. Shout out to Deion. He got his gallbladder removed. What is it? I'm gonna depend on depends. Is that what he
Yeah.
said?
Great
That-
line. Such a
Yeah.
great line.
yeah. So glad he's healthy and glad he's also pretty upfront about it because being aware of stuff is a big first step. Similar deal with Stoops where he's got to get a place removed on his face later this week. And he said, I'm going to have a big old Band-Aid and I'm going to have to wear sunglasses. I can't do a press conference in sunglasses. I'm not Deion. So he moved his press conference up a few days, which is great because normally like so much happens at UK football media day that you're kind of drinking from a fire hose and Stoops is 20 minutes. It flies by and then it's 20 minutes somebody else, 20 minutes somebody else. Well, he just sat there and talked to us for 45 minutes before the Lexington kickoff luncheon. And that's another 30 minutes or so of him and the coordinators talking. So they gave us a lot to chew on. And it was good because, Drew, I'm not going to lie, when I showed up today, I was like, what am I going to ask him? And how angry is he going to be with us? Because it's clear there's still like a little something there. But today he was much more – like part of our gripe with him is he doesn't want to say anything, and I think that's the part that he misses. Whenever Luckett was like, you didn't want to make any headlines. He's hung up on the media opportunities. It's more about it's not the quantity, it's the quality. He wasn't saying anything. Well, today he was actually willing to talk about the players on his team. I know that's a wild concept, just talking about the players on your team, but he just went through the 2 deep by the time it was all said and done. So it's like, okay. We can actually talk ball. We can actually get excited about this upcoming Kentucky football season because you're telling us about your players. That gets us fired up.
Nick, that's only after he pointed out that he talked to Susan and Tony Neely and counted up the number of media opportunities he has done this summer, and it's the same as usual. I had to laugh because that was kind of a dig at Luckett, maybe a dig at us from our comments or your comments at Media Day. So I thought that was funny.
as Nick's saying, it's
Speaking
not so
of.
much we weren't count. Hey, look, it's here. We're not counting the interviews. It's just they're quiet. Their social media's gone dead. They're not really, even when he does talk, not saying a whole lot. So as Nick was saying, he's back counting how many times he's talked. That's not what we were saying. We're talking about it's just they've taken a different strategy in their talking, it seems. Until today. And to your point, Nick, I watched, I wasn't able, they keep scheduling these during the show, so I don't get to go to these anymore, but I watched it. I didn't give myself 45 minutes. I didn't know it was that long. So I watched it on 2 times speed when I got home, the whole press conference. And I will say, it's kind of fast, but he did seem more excited and confident than he has at any point since last season ended. Maybe it's because he's finally clocking in and they're right there in front of him. He gets his hands on them tomorrow, but he did seem a lot looser today than he's ever been.
It was funny. This was all after, it was a good offseason. It was a quiet one. It's like, what? Okay. But no, part of this time of year, like this weekend, was going to birthday parties and seeing a lot of people that you're friendly with, but you don't get to run into all the time. This is the time of year when people are starting to try to talk themselves into their team, right? They're starting to get all excited. They want to talk football. And just doing the math and trying to figure out the calculus for how this team's going to be good, you were struggling to, like, who are these players? Like, who? I don't know them. You have 50 new guys. Like, that's what today felt like. Today felt like, here's our good players. This is how we're going to make this thing work. And now Luckett's here. Maybe he can detail you some of that calculus that Mark Stoops laid out. If there's anything I know about Luckett, he was a whiz at calculus back in the day at old Tiger Tech.
Luckett, what's your big takeaway from the day? We'll go bullet point by bullet point. We got a lot of Stoops talk to do, but Nick was saying, the giving you a little more quality than he has. What was your big takeaway in addition to that one?
Yeah, I think it was some reassurance or doubling down on some stuff they said in Atlanta. Basically, like, we had a plan. We believe this plan will work. And now we're excited to execute this plan, which was basically, like, Nick wrote about it, I think, on Sunday. Basically, their bet was on, we need a bunch of new players. Like, coaching-wise, we believe in what we're doing, but we need new players to execute this vision we have. And so I think it was a lot of that, and it was Stoops just coming off, I would say, more excited than normal at this time of year. Just showing that he's active and ready to take on this fight. And to me, that was kind of the big takeaway. And then he was more, I guess Nick probably already addressed this, he was more willing to talk about specifics about individual players, which is not something he ever really shows much excitement to do, no matter what time of the calendar you ask him that. But specifically coming off of spring, where he, like, his big thing was to talk about no one. Didn't want to talk about anyone. And so he showed more willingness to do that. And I think overall,
I'm just going back
funny,
to that,
Mr. Roush.
It's just going back to that spring press conference where he's just like, I don't want to answer about players. It's like such a weird thing. Like, that's what we're going to ask you about is your players.
Yeah, no headlines.
Oh.
And so, yeah, I think that the big point I think for Stoops today was just to show that he's excited, and the come out swinging quote was one of my bigger takeaways today, is that he's kind of they feel good about where they are. Now we'll see, and it's clear they had a plan, I think, and they executed that plan flawlessly all off season, which was basically shut up and don't make any noise. And so now they're in that. I think they've executed. They're in the territory where everyone's sleeping on them, even their own fan base. And so they'll see if they can, surprise people once the game starts.
That's when Mark Stoops can be his best. Nick, you were there. Where are we in the grateful versus motivated? I know at Atlanta he tried to bury motivated, and we traded it for grateful. Is motivated back in the picture? And did I hear correctly that was it John Hale stepped in and asked a question that maybe you would have been ready to fire out?
It's one of those things where I like poking the bear. I don't want to shove a stick up its ass though, so I'm going to I poked and now I slid back a little. So it was John Hale who was willing to step up to bat. And he asked the grateful question right off the bat. And fortunately, Stoops wasn't prickly about it. And I actually think even though he was just took it way too seriously the first go around, part of that grateful messaging is something that some fans needed to hear, because it sounded like he hated his job. So to say that I like my job and I'm excited to be here, once again, it doesn't feel like you're asking for much, but that is important, because there was I feel like I can trust Mark Stoops to get some guys to go get ready to play ball. There was some serious questions about could he do it in the NIL era with everything changing. And now he's essentially saying, I'm good, we're good, and I'm glad I get to refocus on football. And he reiterated that today, because the second question after that was about revenue sharing, which Matt Norlander, I don't think he has any clue about the stink that he stirred up last week when he dropped that. I mean, we just got the whole football versus basketball fight going once again in the middle of summer. But Stoops he reiterated what he said the week prior, 2 weeks prior, just that he feels great about revenue sharing, where they're at, and especially not even just in this year, but down the road. Obviously they're going to have to work through some things with this house settlement and enforcement, yada, yada, yada. But they feel good about how Kentucky's positioned themselves long-term in this, where he's not sweating that Texas has Texas money, right? That they're going to be generally in the same area. Of course, NIL is still going to be involved to a degree, but he at least is happy with where things are going. And the other part I've gotten to is that a lot of the changes are just in how everything's transactional now when it comes to recruiting, transfer portal, everything like that. And it took a while to get comfortable with that with NIL, and it wasn't very firm. Now, when it's directly coming from the school, things feel a little bit more black and white instead of operating in a gray area. So obviously things can change, but at least Stoops, he's in a much more comfortable position as the leader of the Kentucky football program right now than he was a year or two ago.
Embrace was like the catchword I would say today. I think for him, I think he's trying to share that. Yeah, what I did was probably not the best to complain about everything last year. So now I'm trying to just embrace everything that comes with this job, which includes what's going to be a probably however long fight with the basketball team for dollars from the university. And so for him, I think he's what one person could say is grateful for this chance and grateful for this season to be here and motivated to go out and play on Labor Day weekend.
At this point, let's just put banners outside the stadium that say motivated and grateful. Print the shirts.
If he had just did what Adam said, that one sentence where you work both words into one sentence, it would be perfect.
Well,
everybody would move on.
The media is just going to have their fun. And
they're going to take their shots.
They're gonna have fun. And then we're going to go play football.
Tyler, you weren't there, but you kept up with it from home. Did you have any big takeaways from Stoops? And did you feel the kind of confidence and excitement oozing from him that we hadn't seen since December or before December?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of that is, like Nick said, trying to talk ourselves into the season as it gets closer. I think that's natural. I did think it was interesting, all of his comments about how the work ethic and the attitudes have been really great this offseason with summer workouts. I think he said he had one freshman who reported late to a workout or something, but other than that, the attitudes have been awesome across the board. It's hard not to think about all of the comments about the culture in the locker room last year and how big of a problem that was. I think Jamarian Wilcox was probably the best example we got today of someone who's had a good attitude in the offseason, seems to have taken a growth year or leap in maturity. Hopefully he's learned to tie his shoes to double knots. But that was good to hear. I think he harped on that a lot. He brought it up in the opening statement and kept kind of coming back to it. And again, whether it's true remains to be seen, whether or not that kind of growth and maturity holds out when you're in the middle of an SEC schedule and you don't have a bye week in the second half of the season. I think that'll be interesting. But I thought that was encouraging, and kind of like Adam said, it seems like he's having a bring it on mentality when it comes to everything, whether it be NIL or the schedule. He seems to be embracing the challenge, so to speak. So yeah, I thought he sounded pretty confident. I thought some of the jokes with the media were a little heavy-handed. Like I think he made a lot of jokes about how he's getting something done to his face and don't take pictures of me and I'll be wearing sunglasses and have a big bandage and blah, blah, blah. But I'd rather see a somewhat jovial Stoops than a depressed and boring and unmotivated Stoops. So bring it on.
I like the story about the freshman being held accountable. I mean, I think lucky you made this joke on your reaction. I watched that too. Be like, congrats, your freshman made it to workout. But I think of times like Cash Daniel and DeAndre Square have said that when things were rolling, if someone slipped up at all, a senior would just basically beat their ass. I mean, you had the players handle it themselves, and I think that's what was missing the last year or two. They didn't have that leadership or a captain that could fill up and tell a freshman, hey, you're late, or hey, do this. So it was encouraging. We didn't get specifics, but it sounds like that locker room is holding itself accountable better than it had been.
Well, and to Tyler's point about Wilcox, there was no room for entitlement from that guy. He had to go earn, he has to go earn it now. There's not because kind of last year they weren't willing to play him until Chip got hurt, and then somebody else did. I forget what game it was where he entered the game and made a big play right away, and we're like, oh, where's this guy been? I think it was Jason Patterson who got hurt. And you just kind of, I forgot about that guy. He might end up being something. And then you had to deal with all the other stuff. Essentially, Kentucky wasn't going to bank on it, and so they brought in two guys to beat him out. And now Wilcox has gone from a guy that I think fans put too high of expectations on to maybe now we're sleeping on him. And now you have three pretty good options at running back, along with a huge offensive line that they're really high on. And if you just get the rate of return on your investment in that offensive line, you feel like this is a unit that bare minimum, they're going to be able to run the damn ball. So let's get that back. Let's run the damn ball. And then let's get the defensive line creating a little havoc. Look, I did check the pronunciation guide. It is Gusta. So that's one thing.
Gusta. I always say both. Gusta Gusta.
That sounds, bless you. Bless you.
That helps ease into what I was going to ask next. I in my catching up, I ran out of time. I've seen nothing from the luncheon, but my favorite thing that came out of the luncheon that I've seen on Twitter and the board is what you're talking about. And it was Bush Hamden saying that the offensive line should return to what Kentucky fans are used to seeing. That might have been my favorite line of the whole press conference, even though I didn't even see it. I read it. Luckett, are we believing that the line is returning to what it once was?
Pretty surprised that he said that. It's a strong statement for an offensive coordinator entering a big season for him.
That was my first thought. You weren't even here when it was working. So.
Yeah,
Right.
does he understand the significance of the statement is another way to ask it.
Yeah.
I would hope so.
That's a good point. I don't know. So that I was caught back by that statement, and those are strong words. I mean, talking about that standard was they were top 5 team in college football for offensive line play for over a half decade, essentially. That's what you're saying. They're returning to. I will see. I think it's more of a. I do get the sense that they've gotten better leadership from that group than they have here in the last few years. Now, part of that is the offensive line didn't play well, so it's hard to be a leader on a team when your position unit is not very good. But I do feel like they, specifically with some of these older guys, they've gotten with Joshua Braun, kind of, I think, leading the way. And then I think they really like the leadership Jagger Burton is bringing in as a guy who's been there a long time. And so I think for that, they like where they sit there. But again, that's a very strong statement. But I think they do probably believe that, hey, this could be one of the most improved position units in the SEC. And if it is, I mean, it needs to be because they built we kind of talked about this on the Rap Reaction. Everything they kind of built in the plan is all tied, is tied to this. So if they don't take a big jump, they're going to be up the creek without a paddle. So they need this group to be good. And so at least you're hearing that they believe that it is good. And even Mark Stoops said in his press conference today that he believes that they've made big strides from year 1 to year 2. And even he was willing to kind of open up about the depth they have throughout the offensive line room.
They're really high on Jalen Farmer, who's one of the few returning starters from last year. And it sounds like the future is very bright for Abba Selm, who will be that swing guard. My impressions watching spring practice, not the spring game or whatever the hell they wanted to call that, that was big dud. But they're 3 interior guys. I have if Jagger doesn't have any issues with snapping or anything like that, that's where the strength of their team is. Get behind those big asses and get going downhill. And that's where they've been. I mean, that was a lot of their success early on, but they also had 2 stud tackles that started for, I don't know how many years. You got Kennard and Landon Young, but bare minimum interior, they got those big guys, and they got Dowdell, who is a big, strong, short yardage back. How many times was it 3rd and 2, or what was it last year, Drew? It was like they got inside the 5 in 5 straight games and couldn't score.
Yeah,
0 points.
They'd get to the goal line, but just would find a way to walk away with nothing. It was really impressive how good they were at not scoring in the red zone.
It's almost like getting 5 consecutive 7-10 splits. That's basically what they were doing. So now you at least, all right, I think they can do this. When it's 4th and 2 or 3rd and 2, their 4th and 1 mindset, the interior guys with the combination of a powerful short yardage back, that's something good right there. That's something you can lean on and really build on.
I got to get back. I saw Steven pop up a super chat. Can we get that again? It was a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
I have it up on my computer. There it is.
There we go.
Oh, it's a Tyler question. Tyler, you just read it to yourself and answer
Dear
it.
Kadir, yes. Hi, I got a question. Please, which player can you not wait to see this upcoming basketball season? Mine is Otega, who will be SEC Player of the Year. Cats 27-3. I don't know if we're doing basketball here.
Sure.
Sure. We'll take a basketball
we'll
break. Absolutely. My mind immediately goes to Jaden Quaintance just because I don't know when we're going to see him. And I think he takes this Kentucky team from a pretty good team to a Final Four, potentially national championship winning team. I think the early reports in summer have been defense maybe not where it should be. The one player who could change that, Jaden Quaintance. Also really excited to see Mo Diabate because I think he's the player that Kentucky kind of missed last season, the first to dive on the floor after a loose ball or do the dirty work on the board. So that's mine. My 2, at least.
That's you. It says Tyler. Didn't ask the rest of us.
Well,
we'll get back to
you
football.
You can share yours.
Well, when you get a super chat, it takes priority. And, I mean, again, I'll do a lot of things for $4.99 on the internet, so we had to switch to basketball there.
Well,
actually, Athir, I have a thing I can tease for Athir. We've got 2 special basketball KSR exclusive interviews coming up later this week. One may be with a player I just mentioned. So the stories will be in the works for a while, but something to keep an eye out for.
Give me some more Mountain Mamba, too. I love just getting that white boy can shoot kind of quotes that we've been getting out of the players as of recently. And especially because he doesn't just shoot. He's scrapping for rebounds. And there's something about that look, the high white socks with the all black shoes. I don't know what it is. I kind of like it. I kind of hate it. But either way, it's a great signature look for the Mountain Mamba.
I want to go back to the luncheon, but without mentioning football, because Luckett, you and Roush will go crazy if you just keep having these same conversations over and over. You've done the reaction. You've written about it. There will be an 11 personnel. You're doing this. So let's get to the other stuff. Press box looking ready for us. We said I was a little jealous when your reaction. I saw you were already there without me. We looking
AC needs some work.
Oh no.
Well,
oh no.
I think he was correct when he said that they were pumping whatever was supposed to be in the press box elsewhere because the other spaces were cold, but the press box, it was a little toasty.
So we're working out the
adjust the thermostat, before it started.
I found the coffee machine. I was looking for some water, and I found the coffee machine that they use to make it. And so it is possible that they can make better coffee. They just need to make it stronger. So I'm just more
we'll be ready for that. Yeah. The food, is it traditional press box provided by Aramark, whatever the company is? Sorry if you're not Aramark. I forgot whatever your name is. Or do they bring in like a chef for the Mark Stoops luncheon? What's on the table? Or Subway and Chick-fil-A?
It was a nicer version of the food we get during the season. But nice.
I will.
The food was good that they had.
Yeah. They deviated from the norm. It was, the smallest of deviations. Normally, if you go to any sort of these catered luncheons, it's stuffed chicken breast, green beans, and mashed potatoes. So instead of stuffed chicken breast, it was like chicken cutlets with a little
chicken parm.
It was like a chicken parm, but with the red sauce, a little Parmesan, and instead of mashed potatoes, it was a cheesy grit. Still had the green beans, but it was very similar to just just a little different. They kept us on our toes this year.
And I forgot one of you said that maybe KSR wasn't the first to check in this morning. What's the problem, guys? Who beat us? We take pride in arriving first and leaving last. Who am I calling out for trying to get ahead of KSR into the building?
We did definitely leave last. There's no doubt about that. But
that's every time.
Always.
But Brian Mallon beat us.
Nah.
I don't.
KYT.
Gosh.
We'll do better. Like I said, we're all working out kinks. Air conditioning, first to arrive. We'll get it figured out. We're barely over 30 days away from that first game.
One other funny thing about the lunch is I was doing my radio show upstairs, and I was fully prepared on needing a quick fast food stop or something on the way out. Much to my surprise, Luckett came up with boxes of food. I was shocked. I was like, hold up. Food?
What a teammate.
Look at that.
Me and Mitch was leaving with him, and I wrestled him out of his hands and took off.
But the best part was he forgot to grab a little cutlery, so I was just eating cheesy grits with my hands. Just whatever. Our hands are clean enough.
And Nick's words, it was blue collar meal. No utensils. Just going at it with our hands.
Grateful for her hands.
I have a mental image of you wearing your radio headset, doing roll call, shoving grits in your mouth as TJ talks.
Oh, I was hitting the mute button, and I'd throw a green bean in. And
we're almost professional.
Almost.
More football things. You all, when's the 11 personnel? I'm sure you'll have a ton of more things this week and for the hell of the next several months because it's here.
Yeah, I think we're going to do one Friday. We get to not only media day, but an open practice. So I think the goal is to just kind of
save it all for then. Yeah. Why get it? Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So that sounds like a lot of fun. I'm hoping that they actually have shells on Friday, but Saturday fan day, that kicks off at 10 a.m. So if you're thinking about wanting to go see the Cats, it's just fun to get out and watch football practice. So they're usually pretty good about not being too cagey or guarded. And it's a good chance to see the team. I think that was one thing they hit home is they got bigger, especially up front. So if you want to go see how big they are, Shiaz Pete is a giant among giants. He is it's kind of like Dion last year. Like, I bet if those two were next to one another, who would you say is bigger? Like, could you even?
Dion's rounder.
Yeah.
Shiaz might be taller, but I would say Dion's a bigger person.
But enormous human. So go see him up front, up close and personal. 10 a.m. I believe is when it starts. If not, we'll post it. It's on UK Athletics. So come see about it. Come see about it.
We'll see you there. I want to brag about our friends at Country Boy a little more on our next topic.
Please
I got to see the new digs, the new place in Lexington, not far from me. I went. It officially opened last weekend, but they had a few soft openings last week. I went to one of them. I'm not a Pickle Ball guy, but it's going to be hard to not get into it. They have a huge area with, 10, 15 courts. People really getting after it. So I think I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and become a pickleballer. Have any of you all dipped a toe into pickleball world yet? Are you a hater like Matt? Or would you try out pickleball? Because I can't run from it. It's down the street with Country Boy beer. Got to go.
I haven't tried it, but I lack hand-eye coordination, so that's kind of part of it. I wasn't good at tennis. I'm not good at ping pong. I don't know why I would be good at pickleball when you factor all that in. And I would imagine this is probably the case with a place like Country Boy. It sounds crowded, right? Like there are a lot of people watching. Everybody's into the pickleball. I feel like that would be a stressful situation for
there you
me.
go.
I need
Look
like
at
an
this
empty
picture.
pickleball court. Yeah, with nobody watching if I'm going to try it out. So that's too high pressure for me, but I hope you guys have fun. It looks cool.
Is
I found
pickleball
myself
like
in-
the new volleyball?
Yeah.
I think the average age of people playing was north of 60, so I don't know if I'm going to call it volleyball.
Yeah, but like we have a lot of the kind of volleyball venues like this in Louisville where it's pretty casual hang, and then there's just people always playing. And that's the part that's got to be at least appealing about pickleball is that it's just ping pong on a bigger stage. Is my idea with tennis, I can't get the serve down regularly. And if I'm not mistaken, pickleball, you're kind of just getting it over, and then once you get it over, you're trying to score. So I think I could hang with a little pickleball. Although there's something about the sound of the ball hitting the paddle that is aesthetically unpleasing. Where like it just kind of makes the hair stand up on my neck a little, and I don't know. It's a little.
Well, also there are new golf simulators, which I took part in. That's actually where I'll be spending most of my time.
Yeah, that's where I would be.
Yeah. Now you're talking our language.
I was with Billy, and we just went to Pebble Beach. I think it's number 6. It's like 100 yards, and we just did alternate shot, trying to get a hole-in-one while slamming beers. A lot of fun doing that, and they have a state-of-the-art stuff there. So good times at the new Country Boy. Everyone check it out.
Did you get a hole-in-one, or did Billy get one?
We didn't. We had a few that, no, I wouldn't call it we ever thought was really going in, but we were sticking a few. Fun little game to just rotate tee shots, not have to go do the putting. Pretty fun little way to pass the time while everyone else is out sweating playing pickleball. But a really cool spot over there. I mentioned to start, I'm going to do some of our happy hours from there. Maybe
nice.
One of these Mondays where you all are in for Stoops, these Mondays with Mark will become a regular thing. We'll all go over there and have a little fun. Maybe have more than one country boy while happy houring. But as always, shout out to them on Mondays and every day and at their new pickleball place.
And is that out Hamburg?
It's right. You know that awkward if you're coming into town, that weird turn at like Midland. It's right there on the corner.
Oh,
so where Winchester Road starts to become downtown.
I do like everybody knows exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, that weird turn in Lexington. Oh yeah, we all know the weird turn. Yeah.
Yeah, because the first time you're over there, you think, I'm about to die. This is a head-on collision until you kind of see it feed. Yeah, it's over there. Great spot. Go Country Boy. You asked me earlier if I had any Country Boys at the Lexington soccer match, Lexington SC last Saturday. I did not have Country Boy, but I needed every ounce of alcohol they had after that ending. Stephen Peak, you're behind the camera. I'd prefer if you stay that way because I don't want to look at your stupid face with your Louisville City. A truly heartbreaking ending. I didn't know I could be heartbroken over a Lexington SC match, but it's 0-0 for 85 minutes. Lexington scores in like the 86th, 87th, 88th. I don't know. We think we won the damn thing. I look up from my celebration and Louisville has tied it up. Before I can even get my emotions in check, Louisville takes the ball and goes ahead up 2-1 in stoppage time. It felt like they scored 2 goals a minute apart. Stephen Peak, if you can chime in, A, apologize, and B, what the hell was that all about?
I mean, that's what Louisville City does, and I know that's like it's their first sellout, and it's Louisville City is everybody's Super Bowl, but they're the kings of the USL. They're the winningest program in all of United Soccer League history. So it's what I expected. But Lexington spent a lot of money this year, and I think they're near the bottom of the table, so they need to figure their stuff out. I know that at least they're trying to win. They're not like a team that is, got promoted to this league and just said we're just going to make it work. They're trying to win. They're buying a lot of good players. We'll see if they keep Cameron Lancaster around. He's a former Louisville City guy.
Oh, they got Lancaster. He's got to be what, like 38?
Well, he went back to Louisville City on a loan, so he's back with us.
I do have to say, as soon as it started, there was a noticeable difference in a few of the players. You all have some absolute units that I think they need to be tested for steroids. I don't know. I think it's the guy that scored the winning goal. He was gigantic, and there's something fishy going on with your program. You all have like some. Is he from Manchester United?
His brother plays for the U.S. men's national team.
Okay, well, that guy should not have been on the field with everyone else. I felt like that was unfair for a little bit also. But we'll get there. Lexington, we're growing. We're still figuring out our traffic patterns, our food lines, our merchandise tents. But it was a great night until these idiots. That's a 96th minute. It felt like it was early. It felt like it was right after Lexington scored. But 2 in stoppage time. Get out of here with that crap. Lexington XC, we'll bounce back.
It is.
The uniforms look cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll take it. Away was there.
he did. He
There
gave
you
me
go.
this. I yelled his name, and he said, "Hey."
Nice.
I think it's tough that anytime there's one of these big marquee matches for the casual soccer fan, you basically end up going almost the entire game with no goals. Can you get some of the goal scoring early on, kind of get the vibes up? Because it's great when you get the smoke and the drums and all that. But if you're sitting around for 85 minutes, I mean, sweating in the heat, that had to be tough there for a while, Drew, thinking you were just going to sit through a 0-0 draw.
When you're a plus 300 underdog, you want to draw. I was cheering for a draw. I was loving 0-0. I didn't think 1-0 was even a possibility. So when that happened at the end, we're losing our damn minds. I bet on a draw. I wanted a 0-0. It is a fun time out there. I've shouted it out in here a few times. I don't work for them. They don't sponsor any of this, but it is a lot of fun. I know you all aren't Lexington based, at least the people I'm talking to, but anyone else watching out there, I highly encourage it. Maybe I'll see you out there. They got a good thing going, even though Louisville City brings players that are obviously juicing. One more thing from the weekend. I didn't expect this to blow up like it did, but I finished my first season on College Football 26, the video game. And I had no intentions of turning it into content, but when I got done, I was like, that was a wild ride. Like, I know it's a video game, but like I'm at Auburn and I have the ball and I'm running out the clock. Game's pretty much over. And Auburn gets a scoop and score to beat me. I barely beat Eastern Michigan. But the point that got me excited is at the very end, I have 4 wins with 2 games left on the schedule, and I beat Vandy and Louisville to go to a bowl, and it made me think, and Tennessee was the other win earlier in the season. That was my first SEC win. It made me think that even though I barely beat Eastern Michigan, Ole Miss skunked me in Lexington, South Carolina beat me by like 40. I thought if Kentucky beat Tennessee and Louisville and went to a bowl, who would turn that down right now? So I put that out there for debate, and unbeknownst to me, I'm up having my coffee this morning. Adam Luckett is on the Leach Report, and I hear Tom Leach start talking about me playing a video game. And I'm like, but
I was glad I read that before I got on the phone because I wouldn't have known what he was talking about.
well, that
Shout
was
out
the most
to Tom
Kentucky
Leach.
football season ever, even though it was a video game that I'm controlling. If you look at the stats and the record, it would put a lot of people in a tough spot of what they choose. But I think getting the bowl game, I think we would all take 6-6 if 2 of your 6 wins are Louisville and Tennessee.
I think everybody would take that. I mean, 2 wins, one of them being over Tennessee, one over Louisville. Don't forget the one over Vanderbilt. They've been a thorn in our side. I would take that every day.
I think they were a 2-loss Vanderbilt also. Pavia had them rolling on this game.
Yeah.
That's my question for you, Drew. Was there a lot of people who were actually saying that season sucks?
There were a few.
Because that's the thing that I'm fascinated about, and when you're gauging win losses right now, because you're kind of in that time of year where you're talking to everybody. Everybody wants to talk football with you, and I think most of the people outside of the internet I speak with, if they're optimistic, they're like, we might get 5 or 6. Like, whereas online, some people are like, they're going to win 2 games or they're going to win 8. And the people who are dissatisfied with nothing short of 8, I want to know what drugs they're on, and I would like to have them, because I know that things can change and the season can look different in it versus now, but they're going to play 3 or 4 playoff teams this year. I mean, Texas is probably going to win the national championship. Georgia's probably going to be playing them in the SEC championship game. Like, they have some really, really good teams on the schedule, not to mention 2 others that could maybe potentially be in contention. But I kind of think that the season might go the way that you exactly played it. And
that's why I brought it up.
Yeah, because, I mean, the beginning of it's brutal, and you can certainly see – I just know that at some point in October, it's going to feel like the sky is falling, and then I'm going to say that the sky is not falling, and people are going to hammer me for being a homer, and then they're going to rattle off like 3 or 4 wins and go to a bowl game. right? Like that feels very much on the table for the future. So I hope people are prepared for it, because that's it could happen. It could happen. And you know what? If it does happen and they beat Tennessee and Louisville, any year where you can beat 2 out of the 3 of Tennessee, Florida, and Louisville is a good year for Kentucky football. So sign me up.
And I feel like I lived a simulated fan experience because when I was 2-4, I honestly thought I don't even want to play this game ever again. I'm like the fan that's like, I'm not going to tailgate again. And then I had Tennessee next week, and I'm like, well, I should play the Tennessee game. And then I beat Tennessee, and I'm like, are we turning a corner? And I'm in my living room, like living the Kentucky roller coaster season. It was bizarre. It was so bad in the beginning that I wanted nothing to do with it. And I'm like, all right, we'll see what they can do against the Vaults. But if it were to play out that way, it'd be a lot of fun.
Just when I thought I was out.
They bring me back in.
If this did happen in real life, which 2-4 I think is very much on the table, even with that close, I think it's going to be hard to get people back in.
Yeah.
People are going to want to tap out soon. We talk about the football team adversity. I think a lot of people, as soon as adversity hits, I'm out of here. Mark Pope, where are you?
And those 2 wins, not to get too into detail to video games, those 2 wins, I legitimately almost lost to Toledo and Eastern Michigan at home. I mean, they burned the stadium down.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at, you had 4 blowout losses. Like, if this is what happens, they win these 2 MAC games and have 4 blowout SEC losses, 2 of them being at home. It's going to be tough to come back from.
Well, unless the guy who's at quarterback is Cutter Boley. Because, if you got a guy who you think is the future and he's a bona fide badass at the end of the year, beats Tennessee and Louisville, then it's like, yeah, I mean, it's like if the Florida fans are doing DJ Lagway this year. I know Lagway is obviously a much better prospect and a long-term pro, but late season momentum can make us think crazy things about the future of your program.
Let me give you a little more context for fun just to see how this could really go. But Calzada got hurt twice, but both times returned to the game. But I got big game Boley for about a series or 2 twice. Not much of a drop-off. At running back, I don't know if this will translate to real life because EA Sports created this. It's not real. But McGowan is a bad man. And then today I hear Stoops bragging about him, and I'm thinking is they have him at RB2. Dowdell, another point, he fumbles a lot on the game. Hope that's not real.
No.
But McGowan is awesome on there, and I hope that's even close to true in real life. Also, Stellato, a surprise gamer. Yes. And Josh Caddis was unstoppable. But there you go. That's if all those things happened, I think we'd take it. Yeah.
Someone's asking in the chat, like, what level do you play at? Varsity, All-American, Hall of Fame?
I play on All-American. I probably shouldn't. Also some clarity. I think, Luckett, you asked this. You might see the games get a little more high scoring. I realized about halfway through I wasn't playing enough length because when I'd look at the season stats, I was like last and everything because my quarters were too short. So I added a few minutes. So it's not like Bush Hamden hit another gear. I added 2 minutes to every quarter.
Yeah, I was wondering if you just changed. All right, boys, we're changing playbooks here. We're doing something else. Took off like a rocket ship.
Also, 78-3 over Tennessee Tech.
Cutter Boley was dialed in that second half. That was a Boley game. He came in at halftime.
That was let out some of our frustrations this week. Tennessee Tech.
I think it was 50-0 at halftime in that one. But anyway, having a lot of fun with that. And that was a wild roller coaster of a season that could actually come to fruition here in about a month. As usual, let's wrap it up with our board questions. Steven, I hope you have the fancy graphics ready, or I can pull up the board right here.
Let's rip them. Love question from KS Board. UK1's the promo code. Get on in. Join the fun. UK1.
For $1.
Bam.
I have a lot of fun on there. Like, it's one thing when it's work, but sometimes I just like talking like nonsense. Like, what's the movie thing we did today? If you had to live in a TV show, I've had way too much fun with it. Anyway, here we got this. If you had to change your first name, what would you pick as your new name? If anyone has an answer ready, fire away.
So my mother, she was a scuba diver, and she would go on these scuba diving trips in the Caribbean. And there was one trip where the seas got rough, and she prayed to St. Christopher, who I believe is the patron saint of travelers, that if she would survive, she would name her firstborn son after St. Christopher. She did not. She waited for the second one and named her Christine. I thought Chris would be, it would fit. Nobody ever calls me by my first name. So, it would probably still apply. So you could change it to Garfunkel, and I think people would still just call me Roush.
All right, what last name you want then?
Your name was Garfunkel. I'm pretty sure.
We're calling you Garfunkel.
Oh, Garf Roush. What about Rick Naush? That was a good name.
Yeah, that worked well. People really didn't get it, but,
How do you not get it? It's pretty
yeah,
straightforward.
come on, it's easy.
What's there to get it?
Yeah.
I mean, as a kid, for me, I probably would have said a non-gender neutral name, just because Tyler, when you're a girl growing up, if people just see the name, they assume it's a guy. But to the point, that's kind of the origin of the Miss Tyler, Mrs. Tyler. Like back when I started writing on KSR years and years ago, everybody thought I was a guy because it was Tyler Thompson. And so I was like, well, I'll just put a miss in front of it. Little did I know, 10, 12 years later, that would stick. And I had to change it to Mrs. when I got married. And now I can never get rid of it.
Yeah,
so I
it's
sound
great.
like this old married lady, and people are referring to me as Mrs. Tyler, even though we've never met.
It's for
I
people
mean,
coming to call and the
weird,
gilded
it's
age.
weird.
Mrs. Tyler.
Almost like
And
you're a
then-
school teacher.
It's weird. It makes me feel old. And someone accused me. They're like, well, you only go by your married name in your work. I'm like, no, actually I don't. I don't go by married name at all. But I guess it's an old fashioned thing, right? People go by Mrs. and then whatever. But I like my first name now. I would stick with it. But it is weird growing up with a gender neutral name. I mean, Adam, Taylor probably knows the plight.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
yeah.
I've heard the spiel at home multiple times.
I know a couple other female Tylers. Went to school with two of them.
Does anybody call you Andrew, Drew? Has that ever been a?
My grandfather many years ago, but he's probably the last one.
Because I
Andy?
just
Should I
imagine.
be Andy?
Well, because we
Andy
know
this year.
we know so many Andys, and just trying to think of you as an Andy, I'm just.
I couldn't be an Andy.
Yeah, you're not.
I was
an Andy.
almost a Joel, Joel.
Oh,
Like
I
my
don't
mom
think
was
it a
ready
Joel.
to write it. My dad's like, yeah, let's think about that one. Could you see a Joel here? Nothing wrong with Joel. I got some Joels in the family, but could I pull that off? Probably not.
I don't think so.
I don't like Joel. I like Joe. The Joel.
Joe's a good name.
Yeah, there's some versatility there, but Joel is very there's
The
some
L is
finality
just
to it.
awkward.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
Why is the L here?
Yeah, and is it?
It's like Montrez, who played for Louisville. Why does he have an L in his name? Why is the L there? What am I supposed to do with the L?
And is it one syllable or two? Is it Joel or is it Joel?
Joel.
But my answer is
That's
Mike.
his
Can we say our
history.
middle name? I feel like it's cheating, but it was my dad's name. I feel like I could be a Michael.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You can make it work.
It's on my license. Let's go to the next.
All right, is this the one I have to read? Because it's
Can we put on my Jeffrey Dahmers?
I'll read. I've got to pull it up on the side here. For Love the Game has 3 questions. They are reading a book about the 1986 Mets. Dudes were wilding back then. What is your favorite crazy player situation that you can share? Please also subtly hint about ones that you can't. So crazy player situations.
First, I raised your Mets book with a Braves book. I'm reading this right now.
Ooh.
Nick
Big
has a
divisional
story.
rivalry in our book club.
Nick has a story about a kid from Cleveland who wouldn't stop.
Oh, you talking about Marcelus Jones?
fighting.
Yeah. That was one of my favorite stories. The short version of the story, because I know Drew has to get out of here, but Marcelus
I'm
Jones was the Ohio State transfer who came in, I want to say 2015 or so, and really good player. But that was pre-portal where they had to sit a year. So during that year, practice is going on, and he's kicking ass, but the problem is he's kicking too much ass where it's just fights keep breaking out. So eventually one day, Vince and Stoops get Marcelus Jones into the room, and they have this long talk. I mean, they're in there for like an hour. Like, you were so good. This is your last chance. You have to get it together because you can play on Sundays if you just get it together, figure it out, and you have to stop fighting. And by the end of the conversation, they feel pretty good about it. They feel like they finally the light switch has finally gone off, and Marcelus Jones, he's going to lead a new life. Inspired football. He's going to be on the up and up. No more issues. So, Marcelus leaves. Vince is still in the room with Stoops. And about 5 minutes later, somebody runs in and goes, "Fight!" And they have to run in and break up a fight. Marcelus Jones has Matt Elam in a headlock and is just wailing on him. And so that was Marcelus Jones's last day at UK.
Good Lord. I mean, just walk straight from the conversation.
I'm sure there was some people that wanted to punch Matt Elam, but immediately just going right after him.
It's almost really like cop pulls you over for speeding, gives you a warning. Don't speed on this road anymore. He drives off, and then you drive off, and you speed right past him, right down the road. It's like, really? Unbelievable.
I'm trying to think. I probably have some good ones. I know of a basketball player that rolled a young woman into the lodge in a suitcase after hours.
Oh, that's good.
I won't use their name, but that's pretty outrageous behavior.
That sounds like a very old story too. Like one of those that in 06 or something, whenever they had to
much more recent than that. It's the new lodge. It's the new lodge.
Oh wow.
It was Calipari era. We'll leave it at that.
Wow.
Yeah. What's
they
the
also asked
second part?
Our favorite trash talk story. Mine's Sparks hitting the 3 from the K and shouting at Billy Packer, or Ron Mercer dunking on Tennessee and telling his defender he'd have to buy a ticket to see that next year.
It's a good one.
Lynn Bowden.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Come on.
That's pretty great.
That's it.
NC State. Yeah.
Come see about it.
I have
Kentucky.
an NC
We
State
give
one.
no Fs.
Yeah, Marcus Tig against Thunder. I have one from that. That was Bowdoin NC State or Virginia Tech?
Virginia Tech.
Okay, mine's NC State. I consider, even though Vince was calling the same play, since I've heard it straight from the linemen's mouths, them telling NC State the exact hole they were running to and saying you can't do anything about it, that's some pretty good trash talk.
What about Chinanu Onuaku after losing a TBT game?
I was a little tied up at the moment, but yeah, that's pretty good. Another topical one, I got to bring this guy up. My guy Raml, he had a bad day. I don't know if anyone saw that. Raml got arrested. That's not one of our topics, but since I said his name, I will say, as a friend of the program, it's no secret we like Raml. Don't really know what happened there, but I hope a lesson was learned, and he bounces back from that and gets back on the right path. But my favorite Raml thing is the Bogut moment. Was that the Sweet 16 in Austin early in the game where all of 6'2", 6'3" Raml is looking straight up at 7-foot Bogut, and even Bogut's leaning back a little bit. And Raml wouldn't reveal what he said, but he said he knew I was from Brooklyn. I like that.
I like the Tyler Herro, I'm a bucket. That's a little more recent. That's a good one.
Oh, it was at the free throw line, too, so you could see it all. Because a lot of this stuff is just, it's under, especially football. I mean, they're jawing, but you can't see anything. At the free throw line, they're getting close-ups on their face. That was good. That was golden.
Is there one more there? What is the movie you've probably seen the most in your life?
Yes.
We know
I know what Drew's is.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Actually, it's not that. My real answer is Christmas Vacation.
Yes.
Oh,
every year.
Because honestly, there have been years where I probably saw it 15 times in the month of December. I'll just turn it on as background noise. So as much as I've seen Forrest Gump, you cannot beat the how many times I've seen Christmas Vacation around Christmas. So that's my answer.
I think mine would be, off the top of my head, like Sandlot. Something I watched a lot as a kid, and then I'll watch, if it's ever on, I'm watching it. Or if I see it's on Netflix, I'll watch it, kind of thing.
That's the part that's tough, is I feel like with a lot of movies, you kind of go in and out as you watch them so much. But when I was a kid, you'd have a couple VHSs or a couple DVDs that were just, that's what you had as on the sick day. And Dazed and Confused and Blazing Saddles were my sick day movies.
Dazed and Confused is a great one.
Yeah.
I rewatched that the other day. For me, I'd probably say Top Gun. As a kid growing up, I watched Top Gun all the time. Me and my dad would watch Top Gun.
Great music.
Now, yeah, great music, great soundtrack. Now it's probably more something like any of the Harry Potters, just because they're always on. And if it's on and I see it on, I'm like, oh, okay, I'll put that on. But not one or two, because they're way too like, all the Christopher Columbus movies are too golden and child and Disney like for me. So.
By the way, I think Top Gun Maverick is going to start getting on this list because we rewatched it this summer, and I'm normally not one to rewatch a movie like that, but it's so freaking awesome that we just, hey, you want to watch Top Gun tonight? And I mean, you just put it on and you're freaking locked in while they're going through the jets and just, then by the end of it, I'm singing Lee Greenwood because I'm so proud to be an American. I mean, what a movie.
We've got some awesome ones in the chat. Land Before Time. That's taken me back. Land Before Time was a big movie growing up for me.
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah. Well, there were so many of them. They had, 10? Yeah. I mean,
Christmas Vacation, Elf, My Cousin Vinny. Yeah.
Richmond is reminding me that Ruby Sue, there's something there. What did she do? There's a KSR Ruby Sue Christmas Vacation connection. She tweeted us or something. God, I have a memory there, and Richmond has it too. I can't figure it out. I need the chat to actually do me a favor. I'm supposed to meet Ryan Lemon at 5. So if any of you have his number, my phone's right here being used. Say Drew will be there at 5:15. Thank you. Any more from the chat?
Ghostbusters is a good one. That's a very rewatchable movie.
Yeah, from the Christmas Vacation live blog. Good times. Let's get to a few more of these. Actually, before we move on, it's not one that was on there, but has everyone seen Happy Gilmore 2?
Yeah.
Yep.
I've seen mixed reviews. I thought everyone would like it, including your radio partner seemed to hate it. But are there any haters here? I know, Tyler, you liked it.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, you can't expect it to win an Oscar, but it was fun. I thought it might have been too many cameos, because at one point it was just like you're just waiting for the next cameo to happen. Hand up, I didn't realize that was Eminem, that the heckler's son was Eminem until I saw the Today Show. I saw the Today Show this morning, and they were like, "Did you see Eminem in Happy Gilmore 2?" I was like, "That was him." Like, but I thought the cameos, most of them were great. Like Scotty Scheffler, hilarious. Like, I already like Scotty Scheffler, but he was so funny. Obviously, John Daly, just hilarious. I enjoyed it, but you have to take it for what it is. It's Happy Gilmore 2. You know, you just kind of. I think I agree with someone who said it's not nearly as rewatchable as the original. Like, I'm not going to sit down and be like, you know what, I want to watch Happy Gilmore 2 today again. Like, I'll probably just watch it once or twice, and that's it. But I loved it. It was fun.
I enjoyed it. I'm with you. I'll never see it again, though. Like, it didn't feel like a movie. To me, it just felt like a bunch of skits with celebrities, which I still enjoyed. But, like, the plot, whatever.
Like one big SNL skit.
Yeah. And they even brought in SNL guys. I love Marcelo being on there and hitting golf balls at him. That's hilarious.
Did Bad Bunny need to be the caddy, though? Like, there was a lot of Bad Bunny.
I like a lot of Bad Bunny, and I actually liked a lot of Travis Kelce. I think if the biggest critique I could have of the movie is we just needed more shooter. Because that's what the people wanted. They wanted more shooter. And it's cool to give him a redemption story, but maybe make him the bad guy a little bit longer and not like necessarily the crazy guy. Because smarmy shooter is the best shooter. So a little bit more shooter would have gone a long way for me.
Yeah, and they did so good with all the callbacks.
I'm also not buying the best golfer in the world running out of money. Like, you couldn't just go do a commercial somewhere.
What happened to the Subway deals?
You had to work at the supermarket. I'm not buying this.
I'm also not buying Haley Joel Osment being his biggest challenger, but that's who they threw at us.
What is with Haley Joel Osment in these random sequels? Entourage, Happy Gilmore as the bad guy. Like, well, how did he carve this role out? Is this like his new role? Is he just
the lovable kid? Now he's the bad guy.
Yeah.
There were so many random sightings. I played it out in my head that over the last year, Adam Sandler would just see people out and assure them a role. Like, yeah, we'll get you in there. And then he just had all these names, had to get the tables. Like, all right, where am I putting Bad Bunny? All right, he'll be the caddy. What's the Kelsey Plum, the WNBA player? She was in like the shack at the golf. I mean, she was everywhere.
Yeah, it was a little too much on the cameos. There was a lot going on, I felt like, in the movie. It could have been a little simpler. It was not a good movie, but it had like a lot of Happy Gilmore energy, and it had like the stuff you wanted. The shooter, I thought Shooter, like all the scenes with him were good. they did the happy play stuff, which I thought was good. I like at the end where he said goodbye to everybody, like Chubbs and all them. So some of it wasn't great, but he even had like his wife and his 2 daughters were in it too for Sandler. So
this felt like
what it is. Yeah.
It felt like an Adam Sandler victory lap. Like, look at what I've done. I got my career started because of this movie, and now I get to just hang out with all my best friends and kind of goof off.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, it was very much an Adam Sandler Netflix movie. If you've seen any of them, they're all kind of like that. It's all kind of like, that wasn't a very good movie, but it's an Adam Sandler movie. I laughed during a good amount of it, and that's really what you're watching it for.
We're going to get a Billy Madison too now. Like, can we just do all of the 90s Adam Sandler movies? Just
Big Grandpa.
Kind of felt like him closing the book a little bit. I mean, he'll do something because he'll make money, but it did feel like Adam Sandler a little bit of closing that chapter. I don't know if he would do it for all of them, but that's how it came off. Richmond, thank you for texting Ryan. Might need to tell him 5:30 though. Do we have any more? We've been going a while. Is that
good? I think we're done.
Yeah,
that's
we did it.
Yep.
All right, let's go see Ryan. Anybody else?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks again. I know it was a very long day, especially for our friends from Louisville. They had to be on the road early to go talk to Stoops. We appreciate them joining us, Nick and Adam there. Now go enjoy your night if you can. Tyler, as always, good to talk to you on a Monday. I had fun talking to everybody. Always good to have a good chat. We got a super chat. We'll split that $4.99 up and go get wild tonight. But it's been another fun happy hour. We'll be back next Monday at 4. Presented by Country Boy Brewing. Whoa, Country Boy Brewing. I haven't even had any today. But stick with YouTube throughout the week. It's Media Day coming up. Lots of football content. But we'll sign off for now. We'll see you. Go Cats.